Hello, this is a gimmicky YouTuber intro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how to do the new technique of ground skating. What that is it's kind of like a shatter skate or a well skate off an edge with the eager edge technique, but you no longer need an edge to do it. The inputs for it are very unforgiving. And before I even get into that, I should talk about how to do a shatter skate or a well skate to begin with. So first off, you need to be on Well of Radiance or you need to be on Revenant Hunter with the Shatter Dive. It's an aspect, I think. Anyway, it's an aspect. So ordinarily what you would do is you would pull out your Eager Edge Sword, you would heavy attack, and jump. You would do those inputs and then super immediately thereafter. What that looks like in practice is a relatively forgiving and a very, very easy input sequence to do in order to gain a lot of speed. And it looks something like this. So obviously, that's a lot of speed. That's obviously not intended by Bungie, and the inputs are the exact same, except for instead of supering, you would use Shatter Dive. You can chain that together with things like Icarus dashes and whatever the hell you want. Again, I'll demonstrate that one more time here. Again, it's a very easy input sequence, and you can slash right before hitting a wall to stop it, and you will no longer take damage. So, with that in mind, we understand how the general precipice of these input combos go together and how to abuse the input queuing system in order to stall and delay and cancel out animations and inputs. Those are specifics you don't really need to know about because they don't matter. So let's talk about the ground skate. The ground skate is an input sequence that functionally lets you do the exact same thing that I did. However, you can do it without, you no longer need an edge. So that relieves a lot of the niche input and requirements from it. And the inputs are very unforgiving. It's a very fast sequence with a very precise timing. What that looks like on paper is you're going to do a very light jump and a very fast light swing, not a heavy swing, like this, right? Your character should, you can see like it's much different than when I do a normal swing on the ground. It's a very, very, very fast sequence of inputs. Once you do your jump and light swing, you have about a 5 to 6 frame window to jump again, so another jump, and then about a 2 frame window after that jump to do your super, or your shatter dive. I'm probably going to mess it up here, but we'll show it right here if I can do it. So if you do it correctly, it looks like that. As you can see, I didn't actually need a ledge, I just did it off of a straightaway. And so this can be done with Eager Edge. I find that the Eager Edge timing is a lot more unforgiving than using Lament, which is what I'll get into. So I'll go skate my way over to that heavy, and I'll go pull it. So now that I pulled Lament, with the Lament timing it's a little bit different. If you didn't play before Eager Edge and like the 30th anniversary stuff, what we used to do to gain speed off of Eager Edge, or non-Eager Edge, is we would do a Lament block into a light attack and then switch off of Lament and Icarus dash, or if you were on Titan, you would just carry the momentum with Strafe Lift. Very, very, very easy stuff. So it's a similar concept, and it's the exact same inputs that we did, but we're going to start with a block now. And if we do it correctly, you'll get a huge launch upwards and outwards. It's not as much as an Eager Edge launch, but it is still a lot. And the inputs feel a lot more forgiving. However, something to note is that you can actually chain these together infinitely if you have good inputs like that. As you can see, I chained it together. And this is not a problem because Eager Edge, we're not worried about the Eager Edge cooldown anymore. That, you know, exists for a reason, for balance reasons. So it's important to note that this is doable on Hunter and Warlock. And yeah, fun and awesome. Pretty easy stuff. So I'll hop to Hunter and I'll show off how to do it. The Hunter is, in my opinion, much easier and much more forgiving for reasons unknown. I am suspecting that it has something to do with how the Hunter jump works, or the fact that Shatter Dive is just a very large window. Alright, so now that we're back at it, the Hunter inputs are the exact same, and you can do this with Lament and Eager Edge. Just pull out your sword, block, do your inputs. Well, I mean, I use my super there, muscle memory XD. And you can see it's like, it's seeming a lot more forgiving on Hunter. And if you do it properly on Hunter, you actually can chain together like a lot of these jumps and get like a gnarly bunny hop going. It's quite something, actually. So not only is it easier, but I find that it's much more forgiving and faster even in some cases to do it on Hunter. And again, I need to point out, this is not macroed. I am not macroing right now. I am doing these inputs as I am talking right now. Just to show you how forgiving it is. Right, I'll turn around, and then I'll turn around again. You know, like, very crazy stuff. And to demonstrate what my inputs look like, I'll throw on this overlay here, and then I'll record it in OBS because I'm a nice guy. You shadow play though. And we, oh, that's the wrong one again, sorry. And again, I don't really condone using macros or anything. I don't think that you deserve to be able to do these inputs if you macro, and I think macroing should be against the rules. Right, and as you can see, I'm doing these, you know, completely raw dog, just off the cuff. And you can see that it seems that the Hunter or Shatter inputs are much easier. So I'm expecting Bungie to nerf this into the floor at some point, and with that, probably the inevitable death of these cool Eager Edge and Lament texts. So if you want to learn how to do this, or you know a friend wants to learn how to do it, I would implore you to implore them to learn it sooner than later, because it is only a matter of time before Bungie puts the nail in the coffin on this one. And again, to demonstrate it, I will show it off on the other half, just to show that it's very forgiving. And also, another fun little thing is you can actually do this with an empty sword, but it doesn't really do a lot for you. You can't do it with an empty sword, though. It does work, but it's just not very great. Here we are. And it's just that easy. I'm recording this after the fact, but I noticed that I neglected to show off the shatter skate, the traditional like lead shatter skate, so I'll just show that real quick. It's the exact same thing as the Well of Radiance skate, nothing too crazy going on there. If anyone has a Grazi Rapier on old school RuneScape they want to let me borrow or have, thanks, I would really appreciate it. Just slide in my comment section. Shatter skating's hard to do on controller. If I go and do it right now on controller, if I go and do it right now on controller, you have to get 50 subs. Alright?